What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be reassembling the truck. If you guys haven't been following the build, I'll kind of catch you guys up to speed on what we've done so far. So obviously we pulled out the old motor, got the new one in there. I'm going to be sticking with the old Z24. So I'm waiting on a couple parts that are getting polished, so when those come I'll be able to throw all these parts on. So we're going to be doing all new everything, literally everything. And we're also going to be throwing on a Weber 38 Weber carb. Now in here in the engine bay I did a shave. For those of you who don't know, all the factory holes that run along here, I got rid of most of them. So the ones that are there, like that one and the one up there, those are grounds. This is for a clip for the latch, and then this is for the hood prop. We're not going to be running the factory crap that's in this corner. We're also not going to be running anything in that corner, so it's going to look super smooth and nice. So went ahead and did a custom brake line setup. So we're going to be using the factory style masters, and then instead of them going up and over and across up here and then back down, I decided to go down and under, and then we're going to tuck it all up underneath this lip, and then it's going to go back to over there. That is all done. I have them all bent. They're ready to go. I'm just going to throw everything back in and bolt it into it how it should be. But if you guys want to see any of that stuff that I just mentioned, I do have all those videos on the channel, and if it makes it easier for you guys, I'm going to put the links down in the description. That way you guys can just click on those and go straight to the video to watch them. I decided to paint the brake booster and the little spacer with some bed liner that I had laying around to give it that textured black look. Since these were in good condition, I figured I'll just sand them real quick and paint them. That way I don't put them back in the truck being all faded black and looking ugly, so they look nice and new. Now that looks so much better, especially with the blue. It's gonna flow well. Yeah, that was definitely a good call to put this in. So that just goes in like so. For those of you who don't know, this is simply a spacer. It's really all it is. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why is the brake booster all the way out here? It's so bulky, especially all the guys that swap motors in here. That's all it is a spacer. So you could easily remove that and custom fit a smaller brake booster to tuck up in there so you have more space for a V8 or whatever you got. Now I gotta get in under the dash and put these nuts on. It's kind of a hassle, but you know, it is what it is. For those of you who don't know, it's right back there. So right behind your brake pedal, it's right back there. Now that we got that in there, we can go ahead and throw the brake booster on. Man, does that look good. The textured black, fresh black with the blue. Now that I got that, I gotta put the master on. Also gonna do the clutch master at the same time. So, slowly. If you guys are interested in picking up one of these Straight Outta Japan shirts with a 720 on there, I will have the link down in the description below where you guys can purchase one of these. So these are actually sold by a buddy of mine on Instagram. So it's Instagram, or I'll put his website. But you guys can check out his website. It's 720 Era Brand. And I'll also have, like I said, the link to the shirts. That way you guys can pick them up. He's hooked me up with a bunch of shirts, and they're honestly super comfortable. Not only that, he also has dash mats for you 720 guys. So I'm actually running one in the orange 720 since sadly it has a cracked dash and it looks ugly. So I have one of his dash covers on, and it makes it look 1,000 times better. I just figured I would throw this in the video since I know there's a lot of you 720 guys who like to wear 720 merch. Pretty much the only place you can get some quality merch is 720 Era Brand. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll have it down in the description below. We got a brand new clutch master. I already went ahead and masked off the painted parts with this drop cloth. So now I'm going to be painting the frame rails and the steering shaft, the steering box, and then pretty much all the black stuff in here is just going to be getting painted fresh black just so it doesn't look like that. So just going to hit it all with some acetone. Make sure to get rid of all the grease in here. Now that looks 1,000 times better. That is just insane how much just a fresh coat of black paint makes it look. So I did do the steering rack, so what I had to do to paint the underside is I had to jack up the truck, turn the wheel, and then paint the bottom side, and then make sure it's all painted that way. It doesn't look pretty right now, and then once you turn the rack, it's all ugly on the bottom side. But yeah, everything is now all painted. Like I said, there wasn't really any rust. It was just more surface rust that I hit with a wire brush, and then I just hit it with some acetone, cleaned it all off. But yeah, now we're good. There we go. I still can't get over this paint. Holy cow. Literally, when the light hits it, it looks so good. But at night, when it's dark, it just looks black. It looks like a super light black, if that makes sense. But it looks black. So I got the cowl off of my red 720 that got stolen. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but I pretty much tore the whole front end off from the dash forward, and I kept everything except for the engine. I kept the engine, but I sold it to a subscriber, but I ended up getting rid of that engine, trans, and all that, so I don't have that. But I do have the fenders. I actually sold the hood to another subscriber, so I don't have the hood, but I have pretty much the whole entire front end besides the hood, motor, and trans. Since the cowl that came on this truck has a little fin, one of these is rusted through, I figured, I could fix that. I could cut them all out and weld in a just solid piece of sheet metal and make it custom and, get it chromed or whatever, or do some different style fins, maybe going this way, do something different. But I think I want to keep it OEM like this, the original one. So I already have this one and it's in pretty decent condition, so I think I'm just going to throw this one on. But I also have 2 other ones that I could choose from and cut those up if I want to cut it up and do something custom later down the road. So sadly, for the little meantime that I get it running and driving and all that, it's going to have all mismatched panels. It's going to have red fenders, red cowl, and be all mismatched. But it's fine because I already have the image of what it's going to look like once it's done, and it's going to look insanely cool. So I don't even care what it looks like during the process, just because I know what the outcome is going to be. So I'm not even stressing about none of that. Like I said, luckily I have parts left over from the other truck. So this headlight assembly and, headlights came out of this truck. Obviously this truck had a very small minor impact on the driver's side over there. So obviously this assembly and the bracket got all bent and the light got obviously broken. Which is not that big of a deal since I am going to be upgrading my headlights to LED headlights. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that and make a video on that. Now, I'm not a fan of the ones that have like LED lights around here and look aftermarket. I'm going to make it so it looks just like this. So it looks OEM, but it's going to be an LED bulb inside. So it's going to be super bright and it's going to be blue instead of yellow and super faded and not see anything at night. For right now, I'm just going to choose the 2 best brackets that I have. So from what I remember, my other truck didn't have any issues on the front end as far as being bent or misaligned or anything like that. So I'm going to take those 2, which came out of my old truck, and I'm going to remove the bulbs themselves, the halogen housings, and I'm going to sand it down and paint them black just so they're nice and fresh. Now these aren't really rusty, the ones that came out of my truck. They just have a little bit of overspray from when the truck got painted, but the ones that came out of this truck are pretty rusty and gross, so I don't want to throw these back in. So I'm going to throw these 2 in, but I'm going to spray some fresh black paint, and also clean up the hardware that came off so I can put those back in. Now that I got all the old rusty hardware all cleaned up, now I'm going to be installing everything. And there it is with the headlights Now I just have to align them, which to align them, it's this outer bolt and the bottom bolt, and on this side it's this bolt and the outer bolt. And it has a spring on the top side or on the bottom side depending on how you put it, and that kind of holds its tension. In the next video, it'll be a video of putting the motor into the truck, and hopefully you guys get to see all that, and hopefully it's running. But currently I am in the process of cleaning out my garage. I know it looks insanely messy, and that's because I took everything off the shelves. Well, a good majority of the stuff off the shelves that I'm not going to be using anymore, and it's all on the ground. So I'm going to be throwing a lot of stuff away. I'm going to be giving away a lot of stuff, and trying to keep as little as possible. And I'm always like, oh, I should keep this tool, or I should keep this in case I ever use it. But I'm starting to, you know, talk to myself. If I didn't use it in the last 6 months, then get rid of it. And over here, my welder has a bunch of stuff on it, so I can't even weld. So I need to clear all this, that way I can get some jobs done. Since I'm going to be, this year, I'm going to be doing a lot of custom stuff on the hard body, trying to make some parts to ship out to some of you guys who are interested. Possibly like cold air intakes, little intake couplers for the turbo, possibly some suspension bolt-on stuff and some weld-on stuff, and get more into the, you know, bolt-on fab side of stuff for these trucks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.